morning, everyone. Dr. Cedric EASLEY, Assistant to our Mayor, the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, Mayor Don Ryan. Today we are grateful to have this opportunity for the Village of Hempstead continues to notify our residents in regards to all of the changing information that is taking place as related to our coronavirus. We are joined here today with our Mayor, also with Trustee WAYLYN HOBBS and our police chiefs. And at this time, I'll turn it over to the Mayor of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, Mayor Don Ryan.
Thank you very much. As you know, Dr. EASLEY pointed out, we're here today to discuss the importance of this weekend and making sure that we follow some rules that have been laid out to make it a bit safer for all of us. Trustee WAYLYN HOBBS in a moment will elaborate. He's the village trustee assigned to emergency services. And we also joined, as pointed out before, by police chiefs Johnson and Colgan. Now, we've been working with our chiefs throughout this process to ensure the safety and security of our village and our village facilities and our residents. Now, today we're reinforcing the measures that we have in place for this Memorial Day weekend. It is true on Sunday, the Village of Hempstead will be celebrating their 135th Memorial Day celebration, but it is certainly something that we cannot advertise because we are limited to 10 people. And the social distancing rules, of course, will apply, but the impact of this weekend and what it means to us is still loud and clear. But there are a lot of other events over Memorial Day weekend besides the Memorial Day services, such as, of course, family occasions. So all of what is going to be said, it will reinforce the measures needed in the community and at the people's homes. Whereas we continue in the Village of Hempstead to suffer the brunt of this virus. And if we are going to succeed, we have to follow the instructions of our governor, our county executive, and local officials, one of whom now I present to you, Trustee WAYLYN HOBBS. Trustee Hobbs.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. As we know, this is the unofficial start of our summer Memorial Day weekend. And with that in mind, we want to remind our village residents that although we'll be celebrating the unofficial start of the summer, that we will still be enforcing social distancing. It is important that we first of all acknowledge and commend the good work of our first responders, our essential workers here in the Village of Hempstead, of course the men and women of our police department. Our chiefs have assigned our community policing unit to ride around and make sure that we are enforcing social distancing. As you know, the Village of Hempstead has over 2,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus. And with that being said, it's not to alarm our residents, but to remind them how important it is, again, that we continue to practice social distancing, that we continue to make sure that when we're in public and less than 6 feet apart, that we have face masks on. Right now, the Village of Hempstead will continue to have the closure of our parks. That's for both inside and outside activity. Our parks will remain closed until further notice. So we ask that our residents help us in making sure that we see a curve or lessening numbers of how many people in our village are affected by this virus. And it's going to take the help of the entire village to be compliant with our rules and regulations. We've also asked our building department to make sure that our inspectors will ride around and check the businesses, local businesses, again, making sure that we are practicing social distancing, that we have people that are shopping that will not enter a building unless they have their face mask on. Some of the measures that the village have taken to aid our residents in dealing with this coronavirus is that we have testing sites here in the Village of Hempstead. One location is the Hempstead Health Center at 135 Main Street, and their hours of operation is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You must call for an appointment. we are happy to announce that we've had an additional location in the village of Hempstead for testing, and that is at the Union Baptist Church, 24 Clinton C. Boone Place in Hempstead, New York. And the testing will take place from today through Sunday, May the 24th. And again, you should call for an appointment. And that number is 1-833-422-7369. So again, we are taking measures to make sure that we have an accurate count of our residents that might be tested positive for the coronavirus by having these testing sites. We want to thank our county executive, we want to thank our governor and New York State Health Department for their assistance in this matter. The village of Hempstead has provided testing for all of our employees. One of the locations is taking place here today in the parking lot, and this is not only for our village employees, but also the members of our Hempstead Volunteer Fire Department. So again, to the village residents, as we enjoy the kickoff of our unofficial summer Memorial Day weekend, we want you to know that social distancing rules are still in effect. We've asked our police again to make sure that we break up crowds that have gathered and are not abiding by our social distancing rule. Thank you so much.
Questions of the trustee or the mayor?
So the reason we're doing, this holiday weekend, beaches are opening up, things are starting to open up now because the numbers are good, and people feel like, they want to get out because they've been quarantined for so long.
Right, so
why is Hempstead doing this?
well, again, when we look at the numbers, and compared to the total population of residents that we have, over 50,000 residents, it's our responsibility as elected officials to promote the safety and well-being of our residents. And although other places may be opening up their parks and their beaches, we still have to do our due diligence to make sure that we see a decline in our numbers. We don't want to see an increase in our numbers. And we've noticed through our police department and just riding around myself that we still have quite a few people who are not abiding by the social distancing regulation. And we want them to understand that that is not only selfish, but it also puts our vulnerable citizens at risk. And so this is why we want to remind our residents of the measures we're taking here in the village of Hempstead.
And by not having parks open where they could safely social distance and hang out, do you think this will make it worse? Are they going to be hanging out in each other's backyards, on front yards?
Well, listen, I'm praying that the weather is nice like it is today, and you don't have to be inside of the park to enjoy the weather. You could take a nice leisurely stroll, you could get on your bicycle, put on your mask, and get the exercise that's necessary. The reason why we are not opening up our parks for activities at this time is because, again, unfortunately, we do have a handful of residents that have been going into the parks when they're locked with no mask and not practicing social distancing. So we want to maintain control over that environment by not opening up at this time.
Sorry. And in Nassau County, they say the cases keep going down, right, every day. What, is that not happening in Hempstead? Do you know what the daily count is?
Well, as of today, again, like I stated, it's over 2,000. And so
But
that,
how many new cases since yesterday?
but I don't have that information as of how many new cases, but I can tell you that our numbers are not going down as of yet. And I'm sure with this additional testing, our numbers might even go up because now we're providing more locations to be tested.
So what do you recommend people do?
Again, as I stated earlier, go out, enjoy the beautiful sunshine, get some vitamin B, but at the same time, make sure that you practice social distancing. Again, there are other things that we could do. We've watched since this pandemic, so many people have been innovative with ways to enjoy themselves, entertain their family at the same time practicing social distancing. That's our recommendation to the residents of the village of Hempstead.
They can walk, jog, you know, run in the park. We didn't want to discourage all the congregation. So we are letting them walk and jog through the park.
Okay, and we just was informed by our Director of Parks and Recreation that, again, if we have people that want to take advantage of the field or the track in the park and walk, jog, as long as they're practicing social distancing, we're fine with that. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.